Hi guys, Berry Babe checking in. It's been a couple days. Went to see the doctor. Oh, I should tell you about the weight. I have not been following P2, but I have been doing HCG sublingual in the morning only. I have been continuing to take the Lasix. I'm trying to induce the dizzy spell because technically they stopped monitoring at my doctor's office this morning. I see him on Wednesday, the cardiologist. Last night I had several episodes, just a few minutes apart, where I felt flushed, like I could end up going into a full, I kind of count them in terms of throbs. And it's like when I get a really bad one, it goes woo, and then I go, oh shit. And then I just hang on, and it kind of pulses a little bit, and then it fades. I get just one of the pulse, and then it would fade. But I was in bed, and I'd been getting up and doing some things, and then getting back in bed, and I think of something, I get up and get back in bed. So I got up and puttered around, and I didn't have any while I was puttering around. So, I don't know. So today I did go to, so my weight has stayed below 150. Today I was 149.8. And that's eating not prudently at all. The Mister, Saturday was his first 2 weeks, and he's lost 22.3 pounds. So, he's not that thrilled about getting on the scale, but once a week, and then he just turns on his phone and gets on the electronic scale, and he has lost 1 year. So he's only in his 80s now. He started out in his 90s. So I went to the doctor today. She had wanted to see me about my foot. And the foot cast, air cast, was not the right thing. We ended up doing pretty much what I had thought we should have done all along, was just tape the toes together and then wrap the top of my foot. Apparently, I have these, this is like, if this is my big toe, then this is the first toe and the second toe. And the break is right here, right in there. And it's kind of like I just took a chunk out of the bone, but they counted as a fracture. So we've got these taped together because, like I said, I used to have a space between my thumb, my big toe and the first toe, but now it's split like that. So the idea is to get this back together, and then I'm wrapped this way. So it must be wrapped pretty well because I go through phases of feels okay, and then it feels uncomfortable. I was able to get it into my boot, into my regular boot. I have a pair of Skechers, kind of lower boots that are very comfortable, but I need a shoehorn to get in. And getting my, I wear compression knee socks to try and keep the swelling in my ankles down. And they were hard to get on over the tape. So, I want to talk about some food porn, and I want to apologize. I don't want to trigger anybody, but I went to see my doctor, and then I got my allergy shot, and then I went to a particular buffet style restaurant that my husband can't go to right now, and I shouldn't be going to, but I was there. So it was at the end of my meal, and I had gone over to a certain place where they had desserty kinds of things, and I brought back some things, and usually I sit way at the back wall, but this time when I had gotten there, we'd had a big snow this morning, and the crew had gotten there late, and so I sat up closer to where all the food was. So I'm sitting there, and I'm creating exactly how I want this item. I had gotten a couple of different things. And I'm just engrossed. And I look up, and the woman at the next table, who's might be my age, might be a little bit older, it's hard for me to tell. She looked old, but it's all relative. And she had been watching me create this. She said something about you want to get it just right or something like that. And here's the NSV. Fat Cheryl would have been mortified. Thin Cheryl just grinned. And the woman said, I didn't mean to stare. I said, that's all right. You know, and I was all right. I was enjoying, she was enjoying watching me get it just right. And I was having a good time. And that's a change, because in the day, you know, there was one time specifically where my husband and I were sitting eating dinner, and the woman at the table next to us was just clucking and harumphing, and she just was disgusted to have to be even around us. When I was 8 years old, and I was heavy set, little chubby, not super fat, but you know, anybody that's not skinny when you're a kid, and this was in the 50s. We were living in North Carolina, and we had gone to Fort Myers to visit friends, and that's in Florida, and it was a big deal. The dad took all us kids to the ice cream store. It was actually a drugstore that had a soda bar. Are you old enough to remember those? And I got a banana split. Never in my life had I been able to order, because we go to Dairy Queen and get our little ones, you know, but I'm sorry, I'm talking food porn. And I came home and I was so excited to tell about this wonderful treat that I'd had. And my dad chastised me. And I never knew whether it was because I had picked something that was expensive, because we didn't have a lot of money, or whether I had picked something that a fat girl shouldn't order. We just didn't talk about things like that in my family. But I carried that, and then, you know, being out and around and having people express their disgust, and being aware of being a fat woman eating items at the fair, walking around and that sort of thing. There definitely has been a shift in the way I perceive people looking at me. If I have crap in the grocery cart, a thin woman can have crap in the grocery cart, nobody blinks. When I was fat and I had crap in the grocery cart, I felt like everybody was looking and judging. So how much comes from me? How much comes from outside? I'm sure that I learned to internalize it from people on the outside directing it toward me. I mean, you know, I was, 5, 6 years old, and we were playing in the neighborhood, and I got to be the fat lady in the circus. I didn't appreciate that. So all my life, all my memory life, you know, 4th grade, the girls that didn't like me wrote my name next to the hippopotamus in the encyclopedia. So I have been, you know, discriminated against and ridiculed and tortured, and I am surprised when it doesn't happen. Isn't that awful? That's what I anticipate. That's my experience, and it's just so refreshing. I really think that had I been thin all my life, I'd have been a different person. I don't know if I would have liked the person that I would have been, because I just would have been so full of myself. Oh, well. And Andy, sending good thoughts out to you. And I hope you'll find a way to send us a message letting us know that you made it through and you're on the other side, healing, doing well. And I'm going to think about you in those cozy fuzzy pajamas, with Abby taking good care of you and Tony hanging around just wanting to make you happy. So that's all for now. Bye.